speak live on phone with businessman Jimi Wanjigi, who was one of those who was supposed to travel yesterday, to Harare for the funeral of Morgan Tsvangirai in Zimbabwe, but was stopped at the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. Is now joining us live by way of phone. A very good afternoon to you, Mr. Wanjigi. Thank you very much for speaking to us here on KTN News Desk. What happened to you, in your own words? What happened to you yesterday?
It's nice to talk to you this afternoon. We arrived at about 8 p.m. and as we got to the immigration desk, we noticed a flurry of activities from the junior immigration officers. Inside there, they were very quickly timing what seemed to be myself. Orengo, Honorable Senator, was ahead of me. And when he got to the immigration desk, they stamped his passport. And then I followed. When I followed, they grabbed my passport and took off. By this time, they had already given back Honorable Orengo his. And then, all of a sudden, came back for his. This time we started asking, what are you doing? What are you doing with our passport? They said, no, we have orders on the system here that clearly say we have got to withdraw these passports. We said, here's a court order. We had a copy of a court order we had just received yesterday evening. We said, we are presenting it to you as officers. They said, they don't really they don't care about the court order. As far as the system is concerned, it just says revoke and take away the passports. So we decided that since they are breaking the law and are in contravention of court orders and are clearly showing clear signs of impunity, we would not leave the airport until my passport is returned and that we are cleared to fly. So we have spent the night, a long night. We haven't slept. I'm quite tired, and so is my good colleague Jim. We have spent the whole night sitting in an office at immigration. They have not talked to us, apart from one time they said they talked to the director, who said that he did not have a court order and would thus not take anything that we may have, whether on our phones or hard copy or copies.
Yeah.
He said he did not have it, we had not served it properly, and he was not interested.
So
we have spent the night there.
But what,
suddenly, sorry, Akisha.
Then what do you think, sorry to cut you short, what do you think about that statement that was issued earlier on in the day by the Director of Immigration, General John Kihalangwa, saying that they had not received any orders purporting to revoke the suspension of your passports?
I think I don't want to belabor the point about the credibility of some of these senior government officers. I think it has been debated in public domain for some time now, and we all know their credibility. I don't think it stands for much. So I'd rather you take that statement with a pinch of salt. This morning, there seems to be have been an about time for some reason or another. They came and they gave me back my passport without seeing a court order. We then said, fine, we want to book the 7:40 flight. We had 20 minutes to catch it. I got boarding passes. We went to take the flight, and we're told, no, we are barred from leaving until the court order. So they gave us back our passports, which they say were revoked and were to be handed back in. But then they say we cannot leave until they see that original court order. So you tell me, this seems like it was clearly an orchestrated attempt to frustrate us, to make sure that we do not attend this momentous funeral service of Zimbabwe nationalist and a great Pan-Africanist, Morgan Tsvangirai, and accompany our people's president to Zimbabwe. They wanted to frustrate us. They wanted to keep us here overnight. We're now at the airport. We are going to try again. They say we are cleared. We hope that is so. And if we go, we are just going to pay a courtesy call on the family and the party, Morgan Tsvangirai's party this evening, and come back tomorrow with the people's president.
All right. Thank you.
This is very unfortunate.
Yes.
Very, very unfortunate.
Thank you very much for speaking to us here, Mr. Wanjigi, on KTN News Desk. That is businessman Jimi Wanjigi just telling us his side of the story after they were stopped from traveling to Zimbabwe last evening over the issue on the credibility of their passports. Now, meanwhile, the Director of Immigration Services, Gordon Kihalangwa, says that Siaya Senator James Orengo and businessman Jimi Wanjigi were blocked from flying to Zimbabwe Monday night because he has not served by the court order reversing the revocation of their passports, while stressing that he shall always comply with any court orders issued. Kihalangwa stated that neither he nor the Department of Immigration had been served as required by the law. He said due to this, the suspension issued earlier was still in force and that the two could not be allowed to proceed with their journey until the copies of the orders were made available to them. General Kihalangwa also said that when the two arrived at the JKIA, they were told to avail the copies of the said orders, but they had none. Instead, they showed some writings in their phones purporting to be court orders. The two could therefore not be allowed to proceed with their journey. And of course, now the two, Honorable James Orengo and Mr. Jimi Wanjigi, will be allowed to travel once such orders are served to the department. Orengo and D were last night barred from traveling to Zimbabwe to attend the burial of the late Morgan Tsvangirai. The High Court in Nairobi had lifted government's decision to suspend passports of 7 key opposition figures, among them Orengo and D.